Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company. I'm back with episode number 70. Really doing well with the channel at the moment. Very impressed with the number of people that are subscribing at the moment. So I'm coming to you with a real powerhouse video, as it were. And this video is about Tesla Battery Day. Everyone is talking about Tesla Battery Day, how this is going to help Tesla become the number one battery electric vehicle company for the next potentially 10 years. That's the kind of monumental advantage that this technology will give Tesla when they announce it at Battery Day. But obviously Elon Musk holds most of the stock or most of the shares in the Boring Company. How does this also affect the Boring Company in terms of its progress and its mission to evolve mass transit in the USA and potentially other places? So, Tesla Battery Day 2020. What a day this is going to be. I can't tell you how excited I am for the 22nd of September. It's going to be an absolutely monumental day in history. I think that the actual stock increases have already been baked in. People have been buying the stock very heavily over the last month or so in anticipation of this day. And I think they have good reason for doing so. I actually think that Tesla stock is actually at the perfect value right now. It's around $2,200, maybe slightly more. I think that is the perfect value of this company at this moment in time. After Battery Day, well, it's going to be something else. Tesla are likely to reveal several important developments, really big changes. This is not just one incremental change that they're going to make to the batteries. This is several different changes they're going to make to the cells, to the production process, to the way they use the batteries, to the way they cool the batteries. All these things are going to combine together, and they're going to make the actual Tesla battery system 5, 6, maybe even 7 years ahead of everyone else in the industry. So, a more refined and durable battery chemistry. Tesla always play around with the battery chemistry. It changes every year, if not every 6 months. This is going to be quite a big change, not a huge monumental change. It's still going to be a lithium-ion battery, I anticipate. Remember, these are all anticipations, predictions. We've still got, 24, 25 days to go until Battery Day, so a lot could change. But I'm predicting that the chemistry will change, and that will enable a lot of performance improvements. 2, in-house manufacturing of batteries. I still think they're going to partner with Panasonic. I still think they're going to partner with CATL in China. However, for the newer vehicles, Cybertruck, Roadster, maybe even a refresh of the Model S and the Model X, I think that they're going to start doing their own very advanced batteries, very high performance batteries. They will be built in-house, but they will continue to build the other cells that they use in the Model 3 and the Model Y. So it's not like they are stopping production of something, they're just adding something extra on top of what they already do. So that is a massive increase in vertical integration. That means they can increase the gross margin on every battery they sell, which is good for the Boring Company, because essentially we are getting, the Boring Company is getting the product at the rate at which it costs or produced. So it's getting it at a lower rate. Maxwell dry cell electrode system and high bar system. So these are 2 acquisitions that Tesla have made. They're going to play a very important part in the presentation on the 22nd of September. The actual dry cell electrode system that Maxwell have developed is an absolutely insane improvement on what's already been done in terms of the manufacturing process. So it's going to not only save a lot of room on the production line, it's also going to save time. It's going to lead to a higher quality battery and a more cost-effective battery, and that combined with high bar systems and their production line is again going to do another massive percentage decrease in the cost of producing batteries and a massive improvement in the speed of manufacturing as well. So again, big improvements, and that comes on the top of better battery chemistry. There is going to be, and it's not going to come instantaneously, it's going to come over time, over a period of maybe 5 to 8 years. So let's say a period of 0 to 7 years. There's going to be a pathway to a 99% reduction in cobalt and nickel use. They might not get to 99%, they might get to 85%, 90%, who knows. But the content of cobalt and nickel is going to be reduced in the batteries. That's obviously going to reduce the cost. Whatever they use to replace those components potentially might actually improve the performance of the battery. So again, that pathway to 99% reduction is going to be a very positive thing in terms of the cost of the battery. And also, it eliminates some of the criticism that Tesla is getting from various people about the use of slave labor in the Congo. And some of it is fair criticism, some of it is frankly a bit ridiculous, but the sooner we remove cobalt and nickel to very low levels, the better for Tesla and obviously the Boeing company. An improved cell volume. So I think, this is my prediction, and a couple of other people have mentioned this already, there's going to be a different type of cell. I don't think it's going to be a prismatic cell. I think it's going to be a cylinder, but I anticipate it may be up to 40% taller. The diameter may increase by maybe over 20%. So the actual cell volume will increase, thus the actual amount of the voltage in each battery, potential energy density of that battery is going to improve as well. Modified thermal management system for increased cycle life. So this comes into use with a larger cell. Obviously, the current thermal management systems are optimized for smaller cells, so the 2170 cells, but with a much larger cell, they're going to obviously require the use of a much larger, maybe totally different style of thermal management system. Although the current style works reasonably well, there are definitely better ways of doing it. So a modified thermal management system, and that is a critical part of any battery pack. And I'm pretty confident that will be mentioned at Battery Day 2020. So that's all well and good for Tesla, but what about the Boeing company? Obviously, Elon Musk is heavily involved with the Boeing company, and the Boeing company relies on Tesla a lot in terms of the technology. I anticipate that the links between Tesla and Boeing company are going to become a lot more interwoven over the next 3 years. We're going to see a lot more collaboration, a lot more sharing of technology, and most importantly, a lot more financial assistance from Tesla to the Boeing company. And we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, because Tesla is going to be absolutely flush with cash over the next decade. And that money, hopefully, is going to flow to the Boeing company as a form of a loan, or maybe they're going to do an IPO and Tesla will buy into the Boeing company, who knows. But potentially, there's a big opportunity for financing projects via Tesla and using their groundbreaking technology. So what is the impact on the Boeing company autonomous electric vehicle, AEV? Faster recharging. Now, this is probably the least important of all the things I've put on this list, but it's always good to have that 400 kilowatt charging ability, potentially more. There are drawbacks to doing very fast charging, but in certain circumstances you need to do it. And if you've got a vehicle with a very big battery, which I'm hoping that the Boeing company autonomous electric vehicle will have a 200 kilowatt hour, maybe 300 kilowatt hour battery, somewhere in that kind of range, maybe around 220, 240 kilowatt hour. You can then pump lots of current into that battery at 400 kilowatts without worrying too much in terms of the actual degradation of that battery. Number two, bigger battery packs. So I mentioned the larger cells in terms of volume. So not only is the density improving, but the actual cells themselves are getting bigger, which makes the packs more efficient. So it should be easier to fit a 250 kilowatt hour battery inside a Boring Company autonomous electric vehicle if the density and the size of the cell has been improved. Number 3, more cost efficient autonomous electric vehicles. So obviously if you can manufacture batteries quicker and you can manufacture them at a higher rate, the economies of scale are going to go up. And also if you're using less cobalt and less nickel, the cost of those batteries is going to fall like a stone. It's really going to sink. Therefore you're going to have all those savings, which hopefully, at least 95 to 99% of those savings will be passed on to the Boring Company, and then they can use that in their autonomous electric vehicle at a better rate. Enhanced acceleration. So obviously the Boring Company system, it works on the basis that you want vehicles to be going through that system at incredibly high speeds. When vehicles are joining those systems on the on-ramps, you want them to accelerate very quickly. So you want them to be going from 40 miles per hour to 120 miles per hour in under 5.5 seconds. You really want it to be going. Comfort can play second place to actually ensuring the efficient throughput of that system. So having a better battery that is geared towards better performance, that is what you're going to get from these batteries from Tesla in Boring Company autonomous electric vehicles. Number 5, improved vehicle lifespan. So potentially with these improved batteries, obviously this is speculation until we actually get to battery day. We won't know for sure, but I'm anticipating that the cycle life of batteries will have improved dramatically, especially with the Maxwell dry electrode. I think that's going to help improve performance. You potentially could get up to 8,000 cycles, maybe more. So that improves the vehicle lifespan. So instead of a vehicle only lasting, because remember the Boring Company vehicles are going to be worked very, very hard. Potentially some of the vehicles could be working 14 to 16 hours a day. And that's a lot of wear and tear on that battery, a lot of cycles. If you can improve that vehicle lifespan, then you don't have to keep replacing the battery packs in the vehicles. You're getting more out of each vehicle. That's more efficient. It makes your business run a lot smoother. Therefore, your business is going to be making a lot more money. The gross margins are going to be a lot higher. Okay. How this plays out long term. This is my bold prediction, and I'm going to tell you this now. A lot of people are thinking the same thing. Tesla are going to absolutely dominate. Certainly in the US market, probably in Europe as well. China, I'm not so sure. But I think that they potentially will just take near enough the entire market. So worst case scenario, I think in around 5 years time, in the BEV market, the battery electric vehicle market, Tesla will have 80%. I actually think it's going to be closer to 90%. I think they will totally dominate the market. They have all the vehicles in all the segments. They're basically controlling the entire thing. The legacy OEMs are going to absolutely just fall to pieces over the next 3 or 4 years. In 5 years, I don't think some of them will be around. I think Ford is in tremendous trouble. GM is in slightly less trouble, but is also going to probably go bankrupt. Fiat Chrysler is probably dead way before then. At that point, who's going to control the market? Probably Tesla, probably some other startups, probably some other Japanese automakers that will be able to survive because they've got the Japanese market and they can kind of work off that and then get back into the battery electric vehicle market. But I think potentially Tesla could control pretty much the entire market. That is total domination. That is a big market cap for Tesla, which potentially could then end up transferring over to the Boring Company. So because they've got these amazing batteries that are very cost efficient and also long lasting, and they've got very high performance characteristics, they will suffer minimal depreciation. Now, if you've ever worked on a construction site, and it's pretty rare these days in the UK, but back in the day when I worked for a company called MJ Gleeson, we used to own a lot of our own machinery and plants, and one of the calculations that used to be run was the actual depreciation of those assets, because those assets are very useful for you up until the point that the maintenance becomes excessive, and then you have to either scrap them or sell them on for peanuts, basically. So if vehicles that are working in the Boring Company system are depreciating at a very slow rate, that is an immense competitive advantage over everyone else that's operating in this field. So Uber, Lyft, Waymo. So if the Boring Company have the best A-EVs with the best batteries and the fastest system, that is a huge advantage. So transport as a service, or TaaS, is on track to become an insane growth opportunity. I think it could end up looking something a bit like the dot-com bubble, or prior to that bubble bursting, because you'll have so many new players entering the market. Maybe Tesla open sources its autopilot system, its autonomous software, I don't know. Maybe someone else will come in. I think that transport as a service will lead to some very, very big unicorns. So very big billion-dollar companies, including Waymo and various other people. And I think the Boring Company, with these revolutionary batteries and these production lines that Tesla have for vehicles as well, that combination, that potentially could lead to monumental growth in ridership on the Boring Company systems. Obviously, Robotaxi will have, you know, the lion's share of the market, but I anticipate that over time they'll try and transfer that into the Boring Company, because it's more efficient to be running vehicles at very high speeds in tunnels, in platoons. The Boring Company will have supreme access to cutting-edge battery tech. So it already does today, but in the next sort of 5 years, all that battery tech, all that, you know, economies of scale, all that cycle life, all that you know, really advanced battery chemistry, the Boring Company will have access to that. Pretty much everyone else won't have access to that. So that will give the Boring Company a huge advantage over all the other people who are going to be operating in the TaaS marketplace, or the transport as a service marketplace. Boring Company, this is a kind of a bit of a bold prediction. I almost deleted this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I think it's going to happen. And sometimes you've just got to put your opinions out there. Maybe people are going to shoot me down, but the Boring Company is set to achieve a monopoly status in mass transit. So that will initially be in the US. It's not going to happen overnight. It may take 10 years, it may take 15 years, it may take 20 years. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but I know it's going to happen because we've got all the advantages with Proof-Rock. Then we've got all the advantages with our advanced autonomous electric vehicles, with the amazing batteries that Tesla are going to manufacture in-house on their own production line and sell to the Boring Company at, you know, a 1% gross margin or something ridiculous, just because Elon Musk is a big shareholder in the Boring Company. And Tesla won't mind that. They're happy to sell vehicles and batteries to the Boring Company because, you know, it benefits them in the long term, doesn't it? So this is going to be huge. I think that companies, even companies like Uber and Lyft, are really going to have to pivot very quickly to kind of compete with the Boring Company. Car ownership is going to decline at a rate you cannot even believe. Maybe in excess of 15% decline in car ownership per year from maybe 2025 onwards. It could drop potentially to levels not seen, you know, 120 years ago. It really will drop to something insane, certainly in the US. As for other places, India and Africa and South America, they'll be, you know, 10, 15 years behind the US. So maybe that is a market where other players will go into to, you know, keep going. But certainly in the US and probably Europe, the Boring Company will absolutely kill everyone, or pretty much kill every other company, and they could achieve monopoly status. Okay, so here's our vehicle. This is what I hope at some point Tesla are going to build for the Boring Company. it's going to look similar to this with slightly less glass. But then we throw in our amazing new battery system. Potentially, at some point in the next 5 years, it could be viable to do 600 miles at 125 miles per hour. Now, potentially that might involve a platoon, but that would be incredible, really incredible. And you'd probably only need to recharge the vehicle every day rather than twice a day. So that again helps with the cycle life of the vehicle, improves performance, and improves the longevity of the actual autonomous electric vehicle. Do you think that's realistic? Tell me in the comments below. Join our Discord server, join us as well on Twitter and Instagram, and tell me, is this realistic or is this just a pipe dream? Okay, that's the end of this episode. What a great episode. Really enjoyed talking about batteries today. So many good videos on YouTube about battery day. The Limiting Factor is the best YouTube channel if you want to learn about batteries. Galileo Russell also talks a lot about battery day, so he's definitely worth watching. But I've really enjoyed talking about this today because I think it's a huge thing. It's going to kill the internal combustion engine, and it's just what a beautiful thing. Can't wait for the 22nd of September. So join me on Discord, Twitter and Instagram. I'd appreciate some feedback on the Boring Company Battery Day. Tell me what you think below. Also, thank you so much to all my Patreons. We've got some new Patreons as well. Ashley, Mike, David, Christopher, Jim, Curtis, Milton, Nathan, Frank, Fred C, James, Dennis and William Lowry, our newest Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, for helping me make better content. I'd appreciate all your feedback. Please, if you have any questions for me or you want to talk to me or suggest new episodes, please, drop me an email or contact me through any method possible, Twitter, Discord. And thank you for watching. Really appreciate everyone joining us today. It's been a bit of a long episode, but hey, this is an important topic. So thank you. And remember guys, don't be boring. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye and good night.
Wow!